You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I am your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager, and today is Thursday. If you are inside of Patreon, if you are outside of Patreon, it's Friday. Normally, our episodes are 2 days early, but I had a lot to do yesterday, so I did not get to post or record, so I made sure, I was like, I got to get this episode out for Patreon. So today, I do have an email from a Patreon member. Okay, because y'all know we got to do something exclusive for Patreon because they support the podcast financially. If you want to join the Patreon, you can join for $6. Also, as a reminder, we are going live not tomorrow, I apologize, but Saturday. Saturday evening, we're going to be going live at 8:30 inside of Patreon. So if you have questions, if you have a topic, whatever it is that you want to discuss, make sure you have your ass on that live at 8:30. Understand? Thank you very much. Now, for today's topic, we're going to be talking about something that I feel like we have discussed in the past, but I think it needs to be brought up specifically because of the video that I posted on Wednesday, which was yesterday. So yesterday I posted a video about workplace commandments, okay? Shit that y'all just need to make sure you adhere to. So I'm going to break this down about the workplace commandments, how to apply them, what to do if you get in a situation where you have already violated one of these commandments. And I have several, but these 4 in particular are like bedrock. Okay, this is the foundation for a good work-life balance. Number 1, do not let your coworkers or your managers, anybody that you work with, use you as a mouthpiece. Do you understand me? Because when you have people like that, first of all, they're cowards and can't really get their thought across or can't really communicate on their own. So they use somebody as a mouthpiece. And a lot of times this person is thrown out to pasture while, these people are still working, still receiving benefits or whatever. And they ended up getting fired because tensions got high, or maybe you crossed the line. Okay, because that's the reality, too. There are boundaries in the workplace. And when you have people gassing you up and you get to talking and disrespecting people and communicating in a non-effective way, baby, you done fucked up already. Because it is very hard to hear communication through complaining. You cannot do the same. Those two don't go together. You cannot communicate and complain. So you're going to have to pick one. If you are constantly complaining about the work environment, a lot of times that comes with no solution. You just want to talk shit. And a lot of times that happens when it's you and your coworkers, the people who can actually solve the problem, the people who can actually fix this situation is not a part of the conversation. That is complaining. That is gossiping. That is drama. If you really want to be a good communicator, you need to make sure that you make your concerns known. Now, if they don't do anything about it, that's something totally different. Okay? After you have communicated, after you have, gave the warnings, they're not doing anything, they're kind of stagnant, then you cannot do anything about that. But what you can do is make sure you don't allow somebody to use you as their mouthpiece, as somebody that can just say whatever they really want to say. Because when it come down to it, they're not going to have your back because money is involved and there is no loyalty in that. I've seen people get fired because they allow people to push them up. I understand? Or gas them up. But we not doing this, so we not do. Hold up. Girl, this is a job. This is a job. I will never forget it at the doctor's office. Y'all up here going back and forth about different rules and regulations that we have to do. And two dumbass nurses, okay, let one push them up. They done been gossiping and talking and saying all this shit behind the scenes. And then when it's time for them to actually stand up to what has been communicated, she's not going to have your back, guys. The person that y'all trying to get on y'all side, she's not going to have your back. She's going to let you sit out there and float alone. So, number one, be careful about the shit that you say in private anyway. Especially if you are very dependent on a job, very dependent on the income, and you will learn why that first time you may feel justified, but you can't do that every single place you go to, and you should not be the mouthpiece for every single location. At some point, you're going to have to learn how to shut your damn mouth. You understand? Thank you. Now, the second rule, the second commandment is don't share your salary. Okay, please. To avoid becoming a target, especially if you work in a higher salary or salaried environment, you just make yourself a target. I understand paid transparency is something that people really want, and you got to really have a trusting work environment in order for that to be successful. But if I'm having to negotiate for myself, you need to negotiate for yourself. Instead of you dependent on somebody else telling you what they make, you need to negotiate your own shit. You need to negotiate based off of what you're worth. Just because Cindy is making $100,000 a year and you negotiated 60, you mad? No. You should have negotiated higher. That's how I feel about it. I know y'all love paid transparency, but hell to the fuck no. No. I found that out myself. I was trying to be nice, okay? And fucked around and put a target on my back. When I negotiated what my salary, what my pay was going to be, you did not. So to me, I feel like salary transparency is a way for motherfuckers to be nosy and to figure out what you get. And some people are not comparable to you. You understand? Salary needs to match for a position where the output is the same. The abilities are the same. Things are uniform. But if it is based off of fucking performance, your salary is not going to be the same as mine. And that's just a fact. Because you don't perform like I do. And if you do, then maybe you should negotiate on your own behalf. But I feel like we need to take some accountability for that. A lot of times we go in here lowballing because we just want to get out of whatever situation we're in, and we're not really thinking clearly about the type of job that we're accepting and the responsibility and what the salary looks like. Is it a bigger difference from my original salary? Is it, is it more work? We're not really looking at that. Sometimes we just get so emotionally charged that we're not really able to make a decision effectively and logically, which is how people end up in them situations to begin with. So while I understand y'all point behind it, because there's some people who didn't like that either, I don't care. I don't. I want to be paid based off of my performance. Literally and truly, and what I can do and my skill and my ability. A lot of y'all want to be paid for shit that y'all ain't never did, which is how we got people talking about they want $25, $30 an hour, and your ass don't know how to do any of the job function. You only want that pay because of how high the cost of living is. But can you really do the shit that you talking about? No. Let's just be for real. I'm not talking about those of you who can. I'm talking about people who literally do not have the skill set but want high pay. You don't have the skill. You don't have the ability. So how are you thinking that you're going to get a job that's $30 an hour, $25 an hour, when in reality, you need the skill to be there as well? Okay? Thank you. Now, to me, number 3 is cut and dry. Very simple. Very simple. Don't be no damn fool, okay? Don't be no damn fool and do the work of 3 for 1 salary, okay? And I'm not talking about job description, modified by director, like the little asterisk that they put on everybody's job description. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where you're actually doing work for your fucking colleagues. They just sitting back eating bonbons because, they don't really know how to do this. So I'm going to take this on. They don't really know how to do this. So I'm going to, no, the fuck you're not. Stop it. I have never understood that concept of you taking on all of these responsibilities when you get your silly ass on these jobs because the people who exist there don't know how to do them. How the fuck do you think they were able to do it while you weren't there? If you died tomorrow, what do you think would happen? They would figure it the fuck out. So if you think that taking on all these additional job duties and everybody else's job responsibility is going to give you some type of job security, you are a fucking nut. Because the minute that you do something that they don't like, they're going to get rid of your ass. You understand? It is not even worth it. Do not take on more than you can actually do long term. Because when you start doing that, then you become a dump. You literally are waste management, accumulating trash. You picking up everybody else's shit off the ground and making it yours. And then now you got to do all this shit and you broke down, exhausted, tired at the end of the fucking day. And they just smiling. Okay, all right, see, let's do it again tomorrow. Hell yeah, they're excited to come to work. If you the only motherfucker at your job that's not excited to come to work, that means you doing too much. Everybody else having a good ass day and you bogged down with all that bullshit. That's why they having a good one. Well, they have a good one. Yeah, they are. You're not. So effective today, before you take your ass to that job, make sure that you unload. I want you to take those other people's responsibilities off of you. Redirect the traffic. People come to you because they know you can do this. I think it's best if Susie do it. Take it to Susie. Take it to Amanda. Take it to Josie. Take them. No, I can't do it. You need to take it to the person who is assigned to, because that is beyond me. There are just certain things I don't deal with. So take it to that person. And I have no problem redirecting people, introducing people. If you haven't met this person, you're about to. Here we go. Because also, if you are somebody that's in management and you're doing like a lot of employee responsibility because you feel like you just do it better, number one, you are stupid because you need to be training your team, okay? Because what the fuck is that? But also, you take on that responsibility.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
And that removes the method that you can use to empower your team members. People need to have babies in the workplace, right? Not a physical crying baby, but I'm talking about a responsibility. Things that I have to take care of, because I know that if I don't, what happens if you don't feed your baby? Like there are dire consequences, and that needs to happen in the workplace. You need to be responsible for your job, and you need to actually do your job. Am I saying that you need to put your entire life into it? No, you don't. But you need to be able to do your job at least. That's a bare minimum. And a lot of times there are situations where people are taking responsibility for things that don't belong to them. They're wearing other people's job and not being compensated for it. Lastly, my favorite of the 4 commandments on this particular video Don't ever fall for a promised promotion that is not on fucking paper. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, anybody who can make promises to you and not put that shit on paper is lying. They're lying. They're actually not telling the truth. Nothing that they say is the truth. And they cannot be trusted because they lied to you. Everything is verbal. If you want to promise me a position, opportunities to move up, put it on paper. Put it on paper. Give me a perceived offer. Give me that. Preliminary. Put the clauses or the things that I have to meet in order for me to be eligible. Put it on paper. Because when you put it on paper, that's all that matters is black and white. It don't matter what the fuck y'all talked about, what was said, what was on paper, what was communicated on that paper. And there are people right now dealing with promised promotions, promised raises, and that shit ain't never gonna see the light of day. It is simply a point of conversation for them. And a lot of times people do this because that keeps you in position. That keeps you wanting to move up. That keeps you excited about the work because I am lying to you. I'm lying to you. So you are eating all the lies up and getting excited about a possibility that's not even a real possibility. We're talking about reality. They laying off a bunch of people, but they telling you they gonna promote you. You is dumb. They holding on to your ass because they don't want to find nobody else that can do that damn job, or they don't want to do it themselves. So they're making promises to you to hold you in that position. When in reality, they know that the actual money is not there for the salary. They know that the position is not there. They know all of this. But they're choosing to lie. And y'all eat that shit right on up. And then them damn positions get posted, if they ever do. And all of a sudden, you in the interview process with other motherfuckers outside of the company that don't have the knowledge of the company. Why are we doing that? This is a formality. Why are we even going this route? If you promised me that position, it's because she promised you. He promised you. But they didn't promise that board. They didn't promise, their boss. They were just making false promises and saying that there's a possibility for moving up. That's how you keep people on bait. That's how you throw that bait out there and see if they'll snatch it up with promises. That's why I don't ever overpromise. I say exactly what the fuck it is. This is what the position is currently. Because we don't know what's going to happen in the next year. We don't know what's happening in the next 2 years. This is the position currently. I want y'all to live in reality. What is it for real? What is it actually? Not basically. Because that's another that's a word I don't like. Basically. No, motherfucker. What is happening actually? I don't need to know basically. Because basically means that you leaving out some pieces. You leaving out some things. What actually happened? That's what I need to know. The actualities of it all. Okay? Because basically mean that you taking some things out to make it make sense. No. Give me the full picture. Is this a reality or not? It's not. And they are stringing you along for a possible promotion that may or may not happen. Okay? Okay. All right, y'all. Now it's time for our Patreon exclusive. So if you are a Patreon member and you have some shit going on, Friday emails are just for you. Okay. Now, when I say Friday, I mean like your email will be read on the public Friday episode, but Patreon receives these episodes normally on Wednesday. So if you have something that you have a issue with inside of the workplace, maybe you have some concerns, have questions about promoting, HR, whatever it is, send your questions over to the THEE Mill, MILL, management pod, POD at gmail.com. Let's get started on our Patreon email. Hi, Brandy. Hey, girl. How you doing, baby? I was curious how you would handle this situation. I'm currently at work. I just listened to your Hate That Job episode, and since I started this job 9 months ago, it has been less than ideal. I started in a customer service position in one department, but I had no work to do. My direct supervisor never really checked on me or seemed to understand how onboarding works. I was ignored my first 3 days, but he approached me and apologized. Fast forward to month 7, and I'm helping a new department doing the same job since one person, a sales rep earning more, got promoted. Next thing I know, I have inherited the entire workload and have been told I'm the point of contact for accounts. Conversations were prioritized with others involved in the transition, but I have been snubbed. But they want you to do all the fucking work? Okay, let's continue. I sent several emails explaining my concerns and that it seemed like I was her replacement and that I would need more clarity on my job role. I received replies that sounded like a runaround and that they would schedule a meeting which hadn't taken place yet. My supervisor likes me and says I do a good job, but his boss has beef with the department that I was in. I might add that my supervisor is best friends with the branch manager, and they don't show up until 11 o'clock every day. 11 o'clock? What the fuck? This company is large and consistently wins Best Workplace awards. There's no HR manager in-house or any other superiors. HR is remote, and you have to file complaints on Workday. I found out in a meeting today they are in fact going to replace the promoted person with the external hire starting in July, but I didn't expect to change my workload very much. I may have something in the works, but I'm curious. How would you address something like this if you feel like you wanted more money or make this work because you like the company and the benefits or the job itself? Betty, get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck out of there. Whatever you got in the works, take it. And let me tell you why. They were using your ass in the interim. Okay, they got somebody else that's going to come and take this position. Your job duties and job ability or job description is definitely going to change. You are the filler. You understand? You're the seat filler until they get the person that they actually want to do it. So instead of you waiting to fill the next seat, you need to take your other opportunity because you said you have something in the works. If you want more money out of this other position, then I would have lied about my salary. I'm just going to be honest. When it comes to salaries, you need to pad them a little bit, especially if your salary is not public, like you don't work for a municipality or something like that. You need to pad it just a tad so that you can actually see the benefit of switching, of moving on. But girl, please, this place is unorganized. They have no structure. There's no HR. The only time that you can really get somebody on the phone is when you have an issue. That doesn't even sound like a workplace that I would want to be in, not long term or ever. The person that's coming in July, they are taking that role and your position is definitely going to change because you are a seat filler. So every time they need to find somebody, they're going to put you in that position and not really give you anything for it. No training, no nothing, because you're just holding the spot down. That's it. You're a seat filler. So move on. Let them find another dummy because you are not the one. You understand me, Betty? Say yes. Thank you. Okay? That is going to be all for today's episode. Make sure that y'all asses is on that live on Saturday night. You understand? Say yes. Thank you. If you have an issue and you are a Patreon member, I only have one Patreon email today. So if you have concerns in the workplace, make sure you send them to THEE Mill, MILL, managementpod@gmail.com. Everybody else's emails I read on the Wednesday episode, and I read 3 of those. And then Friday is specifically assigned to Patreon. So make sure that you send those and say that you are a Patreon member so that they get bumped to the top. Okay? Okay. Y'all have a good ass day, and I'll see y'all on the internet. Bye.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.